Hey everyone, this is Brooke from Beyond Trauma Recovery Center in Barrie. I thought it might be helpful to do a bit of an overview on stress. So, stress is something that we all encounter in life. Um, it's not a super enjoyable experience or state to be in. However, it is absolutely necessary and functional. Um, so, how does stress work? There's some kind of stimulus that we automatically perceive as like a threat or a danger. Um, so let's use the example used in this book here of seeing a lion. So we might see a lion, our sympathetic nervous system kicks on, and it's just trying to come up with the best response to ensure our survival through that situation. So, we might think, okay, I think I can fight this off. Um, and our body goes into that fight response. So you might get sweaty hands, you might have like a boost of energy, um, might kind of like approach that dangerous or threatening stimulus. Um, Obviously that's not going to work for every situation. So then we have some other responses that can also be effective. So if we can't fight off the stimulus, we might feel like running from it. So we would have our flight response. Um, if we think we can't fight it, we can't run from it, then we might go into our freeze response. So we're just going to hold really still. Hopefully that lion doesn't notice us. Maybe we can conserve some energy in the meantime. That's kind of what that flight response looks like. In other situations, so let's say if you're enduring abuse or assault, there might be a response of fawn. So that means complying with the demands of that threat. So, if someone's telling you to like give me your purse or whatever it is, we're just complying because we think that's going to be the best route to surviving that situation. So it is important to note that all of those responses are completely involuntary. Um, we don't have time in those situations to kind of like sit there, think, run the statistics or the likelihoods of getting out of those situations. Um, it's something our mind just does outside of our awareness. And it is really helpful that it does happen that fast because that also helps us survive those situations. Um, so, I know like a lot of people feel some like guilt around how they responded in certain stressful situations, but really that's not something that's in anyone's control at those times. So, hopefully, you know, once we go through those situations, like we've done our either fight, flight, freeze, or fawn response, um, ideally the situation has become resolved, like we're back to, safety, and then our bodies can go back into a restful, like kind of baseline state through the use of like our parasympathetic nervous system. Sorry. Um, so like we can kind of like go back to work, go back to our everyday life, like feel like that situation is behind us, we made it through, the stress response paid off. um, we see other cases where maybe that stressful event was like just a lot, like it was a big event, or sometimes that stress happened for a long length of period, or it's a bunch of like little events all kind of compounding into like one big stressor. And like sometimes the brain almost gets stuck firing in those situations. So when that's happening, then that can be a helpful, or a time where it might be helpful to work one-to-one with a therapist and come up with some different strategies to kind of help get out of that like heightened um, state to a more like restful, resolved state back to your baseline. So I think understanding how stress works can be helpful. Like we really want to be able to um, understand like that stressor is gone now, that we did everything we could to get through that situation, that our responses aren't our choice and they did help us get through. um, I'll be going into depth a little bit more in this topic. So please check in later, and yeah, have a good rest of your day.